Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Welcome to Tuesday's shows. We've got lots of articles to read together, lots of DCEU updates. Stay to the end of the video where I'll give you my reaction of the official confirmation of The Flash Season 9 being the final season of the show, and most probably, in all certainty, the end of Arrowverse. A very, very big deal. But let's start with your DCEU updates. Michael Keaton teases how much his Batman has changed in the Flash movie. The Flash is set to change the status quo of the DCEU by exploring the multiverse and bringing back Michael Keaton's Batman. The veteran actor first portrayed Bruce Wayne in Tim Burton's Batman back in 1989, with the titular hero going up against Jack Nicholson's Joker to save Gotham. After Keaton's successful debut, the actor returned in a sequel titled Batman Returns in 1992, one of my favourite Batman films of all time, by the way. While the post-Batman Returns history of Keaton's Dark Knight has already been explored in a comic book series called Batman 89, The Flash is set to shed some more light on the character's future, as Ezra Miller's Barry Allen will end up on his Earth to form an alliance to save the world. The film's trailer also revealed that other facets of the character, such as the Batcave and the Batmobile, will also return, giving fans a complete experience that showcases nostalgia from Burton's Batman films. And this film is all about nostalgia. It makes everything you've ever seen in live action, in DC live action, canon. It's kind of a very exciting concept, but some people see it as cheating, being unimaginative, and not offering anything new. Now, Keaton has shared an interesting reveal about his Batman comeback in an interview. Michael Keaton sat down with Variety to talk about his upcoming role as Batman in Ezra Miller's The Flash movie in 2023, with several stars now up to a grand total of 7 having donned the cowl since Keaton. The actor admitted that it was a little confusing to dive back into the world of Gotham's Caped Crusader. Keaton shared that his Bruce Wayne hasn't changed a bit since his last appearance in 1992's Batman Returns, though in response to the notion that the character of Bruce Wayne of Batman has changed over the years, Keaton simply said, "Not mine." Well done, Michael. Very direct. Last year, Keaton told Variety that there has to be a reason for him to return as Batman in the upcoming The Flash movie. Fast forward to this year, the outlet followed up by asking what the reason is for his comeback, to which Keaton responded by saying that it seemed like fun. It seemed like fun. I was curious what it would be like after this many years. Not so much me doing it, obviously, some of that, but I was just curious about it weirdly socially. The whole thing is gigantic. They have their entirely own world, so I'd like to look at it as an outsider thinking, holy moly, very interesting. The Batman and Batman Returns actor continued by crediting Richard Donner and Christopher Reeves for spearheading the superhero world with 1978's Superman. Quite right too, Michael. But he asserted that Tim Burton is the one who changed everything. Agreed again. Keaton also noted that the writers of The Flash crafted a really good script, making him curious to see if he can pull it off. The writing was actually really good, so I thought, why not? It's cool to drop in, and I'm curious to see if I can pull it off. So, very interesting. Michael Keaton's exciting comments tease a powerful performance. Michael Keaton's latest confirmation that his Bruce Wayne didn't change after his last on-screen appearance is fitting, especially considering the positive response of fans towards his portrayal of Gotham's protector. In the 2 Batman movies that he starred in, Keaton managed to humanize Bruce Wayne, portraying a character that is relatable and is struggling to keep the duality of the Batman persona. On top of that, the actor also made the iconic Dark Knight voice famous, setting the standard that other actors tried to copy over the years. In addition to Keaton's Batman voice returning, many would agree that the actor's portrayal of Bruce Wayne is a definitive take, and seeing it come back on the big screen is a welcome gift for die-hard fans of the character. A previous rumour already revealed that the test audiences of the movie are responding well to The Flash. That's not true. We've discussed this before. Look, I've seen a test screening. Some aspects of this movie, like Michael Keaton's performance as his Batman, are tremendous. There's other elements that are really, really ropey. If you get to see it, you can judge it for yourself. And there's a strong chance that Keaton's Batman is one of the reasons behind such positive feedback. Exactly. Meanwhile, Keaton's remarks about having fun returning to his iconic role as Batman could translate to his on-screen appearance, thus cementing another solid performance in the movie. The Flash is set to premiere in theatres on June the 23rd, 2023. Maybe, probably, maybe it will be released. We don't really know. So let's get into this because, look, they're talking about this movie because Warner Brothers Studios are very triggered by Aquaman star Jason Momoa confirming that Batfleck is in Aquaman and The Last Kingdom. Warner Brothers didn't want this leaked out, but Jason did this purposely because he's fighting to restore the Snyderverse. This studio is still divided. It's still a civil war, and Alan Horn and David Zaslav are going to have to unite all different corners of this studio and this franchise together because nobody really knows what the plans are. Nobody really knows if the Flash movie will even be released. At this stage, actors are coming out, actors are talking, nobody else from the studio. Walter Hamada is still hiding in a bat cave, so it's all very complicated and very, very confusing at this stage. As I keep on reminding you, everyone is confused about Walter Hamada's multiverse strategy, and unfortunately, because James Gunn's so friendly and communicative with the fans, he gets asked these difficult questions. James Gunn clarifies Peacemaker Season 2's DCEU status amid reboot concerns. Before James Gunn dove back into the world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he was still having fun in the playground afforded to him by Warner Brothers. It all began with last year's The Suicide Squad, which then paved the way for the director's big spin-off show, Peacemaker. The HBO Max series saw John Cena's titular character forced to team up with Argus members in order to stop a uniquely terrifying alien invasion. The show was just as crazy as one would have thought. Its freshman run did so well that there wasn't much hesitation from the studio to order another season. As I've said, you know I love this series. It was amazing, it was emotional, it was compelling, it was also very, very funny, probably some of the funny stuff that James Gunn's ever put on screen. The first batch of episodes was previously confirmed to take place in the DCEU continuity, right after the events of Cena's premiere DC movie. But could that change with the upcoming new season? After all, next year's The Flash is set to provide Warner Brothers continuity with a fresh restart, thanks to time-travelling shenanigans. In fact, rumour has it that it could erase the Snyderverse entirely. Thanks to me and a lot of good people out there, you now know that the Snyderverse won't be deleted, but it will be put in its own kind of universe, kind of its own little window, multiversal window. They're going to be trapped. Some of the Snyderverse will be trapped, and definitely Batfleck and definitely Henry Cavill's Superman. So that's all I'm willing to say right now about that. But it is confusing for fans. Thankfully, Gunn has provided the answer, and it seems like it will always, let's say that again, answer, and it seems it will be like it always was, part of the main DCEU timeline. What is Peacemaker Season 2's DCEU status? With Ezra Miller's The Flash on the horizon, some big changes are coming to the DCEU timeline. While it's not known when James Gunn's Peacemaker is looking to air, the odds are that it will be after the Scarlet Speedster's solo outing has finally hit theatres. Or will it? That's an interesting question. When we see Peacemaker Season 2, would have the Flash movie even been released? With that said, where would Peacemaker's show be in the canon heading into Season 2? Will it be considered on its own, part of the Snyderverse, part of the DCEU's new timeline? In response to a fan asking those very questions, Gunn clarified on Twitter that yes, Peacemaker is still and will continue to be in the DCEU. He doesn't elaborate any further, probably because he doesn't know himself, but this is likely to mean that whatever the continuity of the wider DCEU becomes, Peacemaker will be part of it. Peacemaker will follow the DCEU wherever it goes. For those who may not be in the know, the Snyderverse, aka the current DCEU continuity, has been through a lot of turmoil, from Zack Snyder's crazy Justice League antics to Ezra Miller's drama and even the complete avoidance of Henry Cavill's Superman. A change is needed. When The Flash finally arrives next year, if it arrives, it will finally give the cinematic universe a much-needed reset, though sadly it's unclear what state Barry Allen himself will end up in, thanks to Warner Brothers ditching the actor for future projects. But when that timeline's adjustment does occur, the very question above will be something fans inquire about in regards to nearly every DCEU project that's ever existed. Did everything fans see still happen in a sense, or are whole movies and events simply not canon anymore? So nothing's actually being deleted, but the Snyderverse is being moved away from the central universe. The rumours seems to indicate that there'll even be an entirely different Justice League roster. Well, look at Jim Lee's artwork for that very shortly. So where are we? Yeah, will the original group ever form again? So many questions that fans will almost certainly have to wait a good long while before they get any concrete answers. The Flash hits theatres on June 23rd, 2023, while Peacemaker's second season is currently expected to arrive on HBO Max at some point next year, and I can't wait to see it. But this is the problem, because, you know, by giving James Gunn's Peacemaker a Series 2, and why shouldn't he have a Series 2? He absolutely deserves it. But you're doing a multiverse strategy, you're rebooting the universe, and what does this mean for the existing universe? I will show you Jim Lee's artwork because I think it tells you definitely, by no shadow of a doubt, how the land lies. But yeah, nothing's actually being deleted, but certain characters won't be there anymore. That's not a deletion. They're being moved somewhere else. But basically, some characters will notice the difference, that there's been a reboot, a flashpoint, and some characters won't know the difference. Barry Allen certainly will remember how things were and how things are, and at the end of the movie, that becomes an issue for Barry. Hopefully, you all get to see the movie, but there's so many uncertainties for the future of the DCEU. Even asking the question, as I have, will there even be a DCEU? Films are out there. Surely they have to be released, but what do they mean? Are they part of the future? Will Alan Horn reassess that future and make more changes to movies like The Flash? Nobody knows. We're in the dark. It's confusing, and this is not a great way to build up to a Flash movie release. It confuses the audience and the consumer. It just isn't a great build-up. So let's have a look at Jim Lee's portrait of the future of the Justice League in the DCEU. Now, I don't know how well you could see this, but I'm going to turn it around so I can have a good look at it and kind of explain the situation for you, so you can understand what's going on here. If Walter Hamada's multiverse strategy goes forward, this is going to be the new order of things. So interesting. So, in the front, we have Michael Keaton's Batman. We have Shazam. We have The Flash. We have Supergirl just behind them. We have even Darkseid behind her. We have Superman and Lois right behind them, right at the back. And there's other characters. But basically, it's very, very interesting. So there seems to be some kind of... Let me make sure that's Batman. Yes, that is Batman. So this is very, very interesting. Now, Sasha Calle, who plays Supergirl in the Flash movie, posted this on her Instagram. So what they're trying to say is that Batman, Shazam, and the Flash will be the leaders of this new Justice League, with Supergirl just behind them. I don't see Batgirl here, though. Or am I wrong? No. Hang on. You got Stargirl right at the back there as well. So very, very interesting. So this is the kind of DCEU you're going to get if we get the Flash movie and we get the multiverse strategy. We're just going to have to wait and see, everyone. As I've already said, I mean, James Gunn being asked these questions isn't fair. But the president of DC Films hasn't come out to clarify the situation because he doesn't even know if that situation is still going to happen. And until we get some clarification whether this is happening or not, we're just going to have to wait with bated breath. There's one side of me that wants to see the Flash movie and likes the idea of a new Justice League and what they'll do with it. And, you know, doing Final Crisis, I think getting people hyped for this is really important. So if they do decide to do this, I think it's so important now that they announce a Final Crisis movie. And if it's Zack Snyder who's directing this movie, confirm it. But they don't seem to have proper cemented plans because they don't know if they want to go forward with this. But if you want to start getting people hyped, how hyped would it be if they announce they have a director for a Final Crisis movie? If you're going to go with this, go with it. If you're not, then don't. Just clarify to your consumer and your audience what the damn hell is going on. And finally today, it was officially confirmed yesterday, sadly for a lot of Arrowverse fans and Flash fans, that the Flash series will come to a close from January of 2023 when its 9th and final season will launch. This will deem not just an end of a long journey for this brilliant live-action version of The Flash, and it is. Whatever you think about the seasons after a certain point, Grant Gustin has been a great Flash. In seasons 1 and 2, this was an excellent show. And I believe when Arrowverse first started, the intentions were really, really good. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions, isn't it? But things went wrong. They tried to aim everything at their young female audience and they lost interest to it. We know that. But 9 seasons of a Flash series is fantastic. It couldn't quite equal or beat Smallville's superior record. The Flash ending isn't as iconic as Smallville ending. For 10 seasons, Smallville was building to this pre-Superman story and how Clark Kent finally becomes Superman. Very, very exciting. One of the best live-action TV shows ever made. But The Flash has got many, many fans and people will be upset and sad about this. So we really shouldn't be dancing on this show's grave because there's nothing really to have a go at it about in terms of its ending. 9 seasons, I mean, it's been hobbling on since the 4th or 3rd season, true, but they've tried their best, and it's finishing. The Arrowverse is over with the Flash series. Why? Because Superman and Lois and Stargirl are 2 separate, self-contained shows. Gotham Knights will be as well. Gotham Knights will be interesting. That could just be cancelled after its first series, but it could, like, plod along like a lot of other, you know, Berlanti shows. So yes, very, very sad. Now, people are asking me the question, because the Flash series is finishing, could not Ezra Miller, but we'll mention his name very shortly because he's always there for negative reasons, unfortunately, but could Grant Gustin replace Ezra Miller as the DCEU Flash? Right now, anything's possible. That's why there's no point asking James Gunn about his series being canon or not. Excuse me. But it is not an impossibility that Grant Gustin replaces Ezra Miller. Now, it's clear to me that there's a good chance the Flash movie ultimately will be released. But Flashpoint could see him, Ezra Miller, replaced with a different actor. So after Flashpoint, there's no reason why the Flash doesn't look different anymore. He could look different after Flashpoint. He's a different Flash because of Flashpoint. And there's no reason why Grant Gustin can't be that Flash. Everyone says to me, it will be confusing to bring him in. No, use Flashpoint. It's clear then. Look, I don't know. Anything's possible, and I don't want to say it's not viable, but it's unlikely they replace Ezra Miller for this movie. If they do, that would be very dramatic. The problem is with doing that, there's no narrative reason, and it's messy. So if you're going to do this, you can do this within this movie. So when Barry sets a new timeline for the DCEU, he's Grant Gustin instead of Ezra Miller. And that's how it works, and that's how you can do it. Don't underestimate how popular Grant Gustin is as the Flash. It's up to Grant right now. He's been doing this for nearly a decade. It's really tough. Making series TV, a lot of the series have been around 20 episodes. Very, very hard work. We've heard from Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum on Talkville how it takes hold of your whole life. the lad may need a break. And ultimately, very soon, he'll be shooting the 9th and final series. But it is plausible after Flashpoint for Grant Gustin or another actor to replace Ezra Miller. The studio have been pretty clear that Ezra Miller is finished after this movie. So the questions we ask every day are still being asked, and we have no satisfactory answers. Will we ever get a release date for Batgirl? And will the Flash movie actually be released? Well, according to all these actors hyping it up, the answer is yes. But we do need official clarification about what is going on with this universe and what does Alan Horn and David Zaslav have planned, and who will replace Walter Hamada as the head of DC Live Action. Will Walter keep his job? That would be an annoyance, and I think this would be the wrong decision. We're just going to have to wait and see. But one thing's for sure, if you want to keep abreast of the DC Live Action situation as soon as it happens, keep it here on my YouTube channel, Movies TV Mad, and on my other platforms, especially Twitter, because if something happens, I will react to it straight away on Twitter and straight away do a video. This has been Movies TV Mad. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you on Wednesday's videos. Until we see each other again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.